Coming up on 69 News at noon, a man was rushed to the hospital after an early morning stabbing in Berks County. One man is dead after an overnight shooting in Reading, and police are still searching for the gunman. Former WWE wrestling star Jimmy Superfly Snuka is back in court for day 4 of his competency hearing. And the trial of a man accused of living with his girlfriend's decomposing body continues in Northampton County today. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Eve Russo. Hasiel is off today. 69 News at noon starts now.
Your life, your world, your news. This is 69 News at noon, live from the PPL Center.
First at noon today, Pennsylvania State Police are investigating a stabbing in Topton, Berks County. Police say a man was stabbed in the street early this morning, and now investigators are trying to put the pieces together to figure out exactly what happened. WFMZ's Ryan Hughes is live for us in Topton now with the latest. Ryan.
And Eve, good afternoon. State Police just left the area a short time ago, but this was a very large crime scene about 2 blocks in the borough, and we're told blood was splattered all in the street. This afternoon, a lot of questions still remain, though. State Police are not saying where that victim was found or what led to this stabbing. A large crime scene in the tiny town of Topton. Streets roped off with yellow tape and neighbors waking up to state troopers canvassing their neighborhood after a man was stabbed in the street.
When I woke up this morning, there was crime scene tape going across my yard, across my car over there.
State police got the call around 4:30 this morning. They say a 31-year-old man was stabbed and taken to the hospital. It happened in the area of East Smith Street and South Haas Street in the borough.
We have nobody in custody at this point, but we're still interviewing people. We're canvassing the area right now for anybody that may have seen or heard anything.
Police are not saying what led to the stabbing, but according to some neighbors, they heard a loud car racing down the street early this morning.
I hope the state troopers are on top of it and we'll come to the bottom of it.
2 blocks were shut down after blood was splattered down the street, and police say they recovered a knife behind this SUV.
It's shocking, and it's sad to happen in a small town like this. We're surprised.
And police say no arrests have been made in this case yet, and we're told that the victim's injuries are not life-threatening. Anyone who may have heard anything or seen anything early this morning is asked to call state police. That is the very latest live this afternoon in Topton. Ryan Hughes, 69 News.
Ryan, thank you. Also in Berks County, police in Reading are investigating a homicide. This happened around 1:15 this morning at the Getty Mart at the intersection of West Greenwich and Schuylkill Avenue. Authorities say one man was shot and killed. Another person was shot but is expected to be okay. Investigators are still working to identify both victims involved. They are also looking into a motive and leads on the shooter. Anyone with information should call Reading Police. Well, is former pro wrestler Jimmy Superfly Snuka competent to stand trial in the death of his girlfriend more than 3 decades ago? A competency hearing is continuing for a 4th day at the Lehigh County Courthouse to determine just that. WFMZ's Jamie Stover has more.
A Lehigh County judge will soon determine Jimmy Superfly Snuka's fate, deciding if his case will stop dead in its tracks or move forward. The big question, is the former WWF pro wrestler competent to stand trial? Superfly's legal team argued he suffers from brain damage from years in the ring and early onset dementia. They claim he has trouble remembering simple things like his attorney's name and political figures like Donald Trump. But the prosecution isn't buying it. They claim Snuka was competent enough last year to perform in a charity wrestling match, and they argue video played in court proved that. Snuka told a judge he can't read or write the English language, and at the time didn't know what city he was in or what day it was. Snuka is charged with killing his former girlfriend, Nancy Argentino, at a Whitehall motel more than 30 years ago. The couple was in town in 1983 for one of Snuka's matches at the Allentown Fairgrounds. Family members tell 69 News there was another incident involving Snuka and Argentino at a hotel in New York months before that. Snuka pleaded guilty to harassment in that incident. Snuka was charged in 2014 with third-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter.
And that was Jamie Stover reporting. Again, that hearing is underway right now over at the Lehigh County Courthouse. Jimmy Snuka's wife took the stand late this morning, and her testimony wrapped up just moments ago. We will, of course, have the very latest coming up on the news at 4. And a resentencing hearing has been scheduled for one of the Lehigh Valley's most notorious killers. Brian Freeman was 17 years old when he, his brother David, and a cousin killed the Freemans' parents and younger brother. It all happened at their Salisbury Township home back in 1995. He became eligible for a new sentence after a recent Supreme Court ruling banned mandatory life sentences for juvenile offenders. Brian Freeman's hearing is now scheduled for September 22nd. The trial of a Northampton County man accused of living with his girlfriend's decomposing body continues today. Franklin Hutchison is facing charges that include abuse of a corpse, making false reports, and a drug offense. Officials say Brianne Miles was dead for more than 12 hours before Hutchison called police. Prosecutors say the 22-year-old knew his girlfriend overdosed but did nothing about it. The defense says Hutchison shouldn't be charged with abuse of a corpse because he did nothing to the body. Well, today's the day to get outside and enjoy the sunshine because clouds will move back into the area for tomorrow. Let's take a first look at our forecast now with Matt. Good afternoon.
Hey, Eve, good afternoon. Yeah, for sure. Pretty sunny out there right now for a lot of the area. There are some patchy clouds around, but you're going to enjoy the afternoon hours. Showers, thunderstorms well back toward the west and the south of us. If you don't like the humidity, you like the high pressure off to the north because it gives you more of a northerly and easterly flow. When the high, shifts down to the south and the east of us, and it drags in all of the humidity from the south. So we're dealing with warm temperatures for sure, but the humidity remains at a nice, decent level with dew points for the most part that are in the 50s, and that's where they'll generally stay. 83 in Reading, 82 in Allentown, 85 in Philly is now leading the way, 83 in Lancaster, York, and Harrisburg also up over the 80-degree mark. Up into the Pocono region, Mount Pocono back after missing this morning. Temperature of 74 degrees there. Here are the dew points holding in the 50s to around 60. Not bad as you get into the month of June if you can have days like that. Live from Lake Wallenpaupack in the Poconos, of course. 83 at 2 o'clock, 86 at 4, and 82 at 6 p.m. We'll top out around 88. Your 7-day forecast in just a few more minutes. Eve, back over to you.
Thanks, Matt. Well, investigators in Chester County are trying to identify a woman found dead at the bottom of a pond with a cinder block tied to her leg. The gruesome discovery was made on Memorial Day. It happened off Zyber Road in East Coventry Township. Police say she's believed to be African-American, about 25 to 35 years old. Investigators released pictures of her clothes, jewelry, and a tattoo on her left shoulder, hoping that will help solve the mystery. Authorities think the woman's body was dumped in the pond sometime between Sunday afternoon and Monday morning.
It's unnerving. It's very unnerving. This is like a very safe neighborhood. We all walk our dogs. The kids come here and swim.
Investigators say there were no signs of trauma on the body, and an autopsy revealed the woman was already dead before hitting the water. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Well, police say a 4-car crash that shut down a busy stretch of Route 33 yesterday was caused by a wrong-way driver. This happened around 7 a.m. on Route 33 North near the Route 248 on-ramp. Police identified the wrong-way driver as 19-year-old Mark Wolf of Bethlehem. They say 2 cars hit the guardrail to avoid crashing into Wolf's car. But according to authorities, Wolf continued driving the wrong way and hit a car head-on. 3 drivers were taken to the hospital. There's no word on whether any charges will be filed. Pennsylvania's Department of Health expects to write some temporary regulations this year for the state's medical marijuana program. Democratic Governor Tom Wolf signed legislation to create that program back in April, but officials say it could take up to 2 years to write some formal regulations and to get retailers to open. Now, the bill sets standards for tracking plants, certifying doctors, and licensing growers and dispensaries. Patients will be able to take marijuana in a pill, vapor, or several other forms. They will not be able to legally obtain marijuana to smoke or grow. And there's still much more to come on the news at noon. Egyptian officials say there may be a break in the case in the search for missing Egypt Air Flight 804. We'll have all the details next. Plus, some residents in Alberta, Canada were allowed to return home today for the first time in weeks. We'll explain coming up. Rosa.
Well, Eve, good afternoon. So we're live here at Runner's World headquarters in Emmaus, getting ready to kick off a brand new segment on 69 News. And to kick off, happy Global Running Day! So we'll take it back to you. See you soon.